Welcome to NVL Travel Documentary. Las Vegas, a city of glamour, wealth, and endless entertainment. But behind the dazzling lights, beyond the luxurious casinos and extravagant resorts, lies a hidden underworld that few travelers ever witness. In a place where billions are won and lost in the blink of an eye, thousands struggle just to survive.
Ständes liegt.
Homelessness, crime, and desperation unfold just steps away from the allure of the Strip. But why does a city so rich leave so many behind? And what dark truths lurk beneath the neon empire's shimmering surface? This isn't just a country documentary. It's a journey into a world that few dare to explore. Are you ready to see Las Vegas like never before? Number 1. Las Vegas. The glittering Mirage and its hidden homelessness crisis. Las Vegas, celebrated as the entertainment capital of the world, dazzles with its luxurious resorts, vibrant casinos, and premier dining experiences. Yet, beneath this glittering facade lies a stark contrast, a deepening homelessness crisis. As of January 2024, Clark County reported 7,906 individuals experiencing homelessness on any given night, marking a 20% increase from the previous year and a 36% surge since 2022. This alarming trend underscores the widening chasm between the city's opulence and the struggles of its most vulnerable residents. Economically, while Las Vegas's tourism sector has shown resilience post-pandemic, projections indicate potential challenges ahead. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas's Center for Business and Economic Research, anticipates a 5.8% decline in visitor traffic for 2025, followed by a 6.9% decrease in 2026. Gross gaming revenue is also expected to drop by 5.4% in 2025 and 4.6% in 2026. These forecasts suggest that while the city thrives on tourism, underlying economic vulnerabilities persist, potentially exacerbating social issues like homelessness. Politically, the discourse surrounding homelessness is multifaceted. Local and state officials face criticism for perceived inadequacies in addressing the crisis. Debates center on whether homelessness stems from personal choices, policy shortcomings, or broader economic disparities. The postponement of the annual Southern Nevada homelessness count until 2026 has has further fueled discussions about the effectiveness of current strategies and the commitment to resolving the issue. Comparatively, other U.S. cities employ diverse approaches to combat homelessness. New York City, for instance, is converting office buildings into residential units to tackle housing shortages, aiming to add 80,000 units over 15 years. Conversely, San Francisco has increased shelter beds and enforced anti-camping laws, leading to a reduction in visible homelessness, but sparking debates about the ethics and effectiveness of such measures. In essence, while Las Vegas continues to captivate millions with its allure, it faces pressing challenges in addressing the disparities that lie beneath its shimmering surface. Bridging this divide necessitates comprehensive solutions, encompassing affordable housing initiatives, supportive services, and robust policy reforms. Number 2, the housing crisis. A system catering to the wealthy Las Vegas, celebrated for its vibrant casinos and luxurious resorts, is confronting a severe housing crisis that disproportionately affects low-income residents. Despite the billions of dollars flowing into the city's booming tourism industry, affordable housing remains out of reach for many. As of February 2025, Nevada offers only 14 affordable rental homes for every 100 extremely low-income households, making it one of the worst states in the country for affordable housing availability. Over the past decade, rental prices in Las Vegas have surged by more than 40%, far outpacing wage growth. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment now exceeds $1,500 per month, while the median household income has failed to keep pace, leaving many residents struggling to afford basic living expenses. Minimum wage workers face an even grimmer reality, needing to work over 80 hours per week to afford a modest apartment in the city. This growing disparity can be traced back to economic priorities that favor high-end tourism and luxury real estate over affordable housing development. Lavish casino resorts and entertainment venues often receive generous tax breaks, while funding for public housing projects has been steadily declining. Policymakers have prioritized the expansion of the city's hospitality industry, exacerbating the homelessness crisis. Within government circles, debates continue over how to address the issue. Some lawmakers advocate for increased investment in public housing and rental assistance programs, arguing that stable housing is a fundamental right. Others insist that government intervention in the housing market is unnecessary and that private developers should lead the way. However, history has shown that leaving housing purely to market forces often results in further displacement of vulnerable communities. Looking at global solutions, Finland's Housing First model offers a compelling alternative. By providing permanent housing with no preconditions, Finland has reduced long-term homelessness by over 70%, making it one of the few countries to nearly eradicate the issue. In contrast, U.S. cities like San Francisco have invested heavily in homelessness programs with limited success, as temporary shelters fail to address the root causes of the crisis. Meanwhile, Houston has significantly reduced its homeless population by focusing on permanent housing and job assistance, proving that strategic intervention can yield real results. The stark reality is that while Las Vegas continues to flourish as a world-class entertainment hub, its most vulnerable residents are being left behind. Without significant policy changes and a commitment to prioritizing affordable housing, the gap between the wealthy and the struggling will only widen. Will Las Vegas invest in its people as much as its casinos? Comment 1 for yes, 0 for number 10. Mental health and addiction. Government abandons the homeless in the heart of Las Vegas. Beyond the dazzling lights of the Strip lies a harsh reality that many overlook: thousands of homeless individuals, many of whom are battling severe mental illnesses and addiction, Recent data indicates that approximately 44.7% of homeless individuals in Nevada suffer from mental health disorders, and 38.9% report current alcohol or drug abuse. These conditions include schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and severe depression, leaving many without the ability to seek stable employment or housing. The collapse of Mental Health Services Nevada ranks among the lowest in mental health funding nationwide, allocating only a fraction of what other states spend per capita. Budget cuts over the past decade have led to the closure of numerous psychiatric facilities, leaving thousands without access to critical treatment. In 2024, the state spent an estimated $66 per capita on mental health services, compared to states like Maine, which invested over $362 per capita. The result? An increasing number of untreated individuals ending up on the streets, unable to access medication or therapy that could help stabilize their conditions. The political divide. Who is responsible? The debate over mental health care and homelessness is deeply politicized. Advocates of universal health care argue that providing free mental health services would drastically reduce homelessness and prevent costly emergency room visits and incarceration. Countries like Canada and Germany have successfully integrated mental health care into their public health systems, ensuring that vulnerable populations receive continuous support. In contrast, opponents advocate for privatized healthcare, believing that personal responsibility and market-driven solutions are the best approach. However, evidence suggests that nations with strong social safety nets, such as Sweden, have significantly lower homelessness rates due to government-funded housing programs and mental health services. In Stockholm, for example, only 1 in 10,000 people are chronically homeless, compared to 17 in 10,000 in the United States. A call for action. Las Vegas and the United States as a whole faces a critical choice: continue neglecting this crisis or implement bold reforms to ensure those suffering from mental illness and addiction receive proper care. Without intervention, the cycle of homelessness, incarceration, and hospitalization will only worsen. Investing in comprehensive mental health services, affordable housing, and community outreach programs could save lives and ultimately reduce the financial burden on taxpayers. The question remains, how much longer will we turn a blind eye? Number 4. Impact of COVID-19. How is the government responding? The COVID-19 pandemic delivered a devastating blow to Las Vegas, a city built on tourism, entertainment, and hospitality. When the world shut down in 2020, Las Vegas felt the impact harder than most places. With hotels, casinos, and entertainment venues forced to close their doors, the economic collapse was immediate. In May 2020, Las Vegas recorded an unemployment rate of 29%, nearly double the national peak of 14.7% that year, making it one of the hardest-hit metropolitan areas in the United States. The absence of tourists meant thousands of workers, from casino employees to hotel staff and restaurant servers, suddenly found themselves without a job. Entire families, who had built their livelihoods around the booming Vegas economy, faced an uncertain future. Government's short-term response, a temporary lifeline, recognizing the urgency, the U.S. government implemented short-term relief measures to soften the economic blow. A nationwide eviction moratorium was put in place to prevent mass homelessness, ensuring that those who lost their jobs wouldn't immediately lose their homes. Additionally, unemployment benefits were significantly expanded, including an extra $600 per week in federal assistance on top of regular state benefits. This relief helped sustain many families, allowing them to cover rent, groceries, and basic needs during the worst of the crisis. However, as the pandemic dragged on, these support programs began to phase out. The enhanced unemployment benefits ended in September 2021, and eviction protections expired shortly after, leaving thousands at risk. By 2024, the consequences of these rollbacks became painfully clear. According to reports, rents in Las Vegas have surged by 40% since 2016, and the city now faces a severe housing affordability crisis. Homelessness rates have skyrocketed, with Clark County reporting a 16% increase in unsheltered individuals in just 1 year. International approaches, lessons from abroad, while the U.S. government's response helped in the short term, other nations took a more strategic and sustainable approach to economic recovery. Japan and South Korea. Instead of just delaying evictions, these countries implemented direct rent subsidies for struggling tenants, preventing a wave of homelessness altogether. Denmark focused on protecting jobs rather than simply offering unemployment benefits. The Danish government subsidized wages, allowing businesses to keep employees on payroll rather than laying them off. As a result, Denmark's unemployment rate remained far lower than that of the US. A need for long-term solutions. Las Vegas's experience highlights a painful reality. Short-term aid is not enough without long-term policy solutions. The contrast between the US and other countries shows that preventing unemployment and housing instability before they spiral out of control is key to economic resilience. Moving forward, policymakers must consider a more balanced approach, one that not only provides emergency relief, but also creates safeguards for housing stability, job security, and sustainable economic recovery. Otherwise, cities like Las Vegas will remain vulnerable to future economic shocks, with their most vulnerable residents paying the highest price. Number 5. Las Vegas's crackdown on the homeless. In November 2019, Las Vegas enacted an ordinance prohibiting individuals from sleeping on sidewalks or in other public areas when shelter beds are available. Violations can result in fines up to $1,000 or imprisonment for up to 6 months. City officials assert that the law aims to maintain cleanliness and accessibility of public spaces for businesses and tourists. However, shelters in Las Vegas are frequently at capacity, and many experiencing homelessness avoid them due to safety concerns, restrictive curfews, or mental health challenges. This ordinance reflects a broader trend of criminalizing homelessness across the United States. A 2021 report from the National Homelessness Law Center found that over 70% of major U.S. cities have laws restricting activities like camping, sleeping, or resting in public spaces. Critics argue that such measures prioritize aesthetics over addressing root causes, effectively pushing the homeless out of sight without offering sustainable solutions. Supporters of the Las Vegas Ordinance contend that protecting public spaces is essential for tourism and business interests. They believe that permitting individuals to sleep on the streets creates unsafe and unsanitary conditions, deterring visitors and negatively impacting the local economy. Some also suggest that the law encourages individuals to utilize available shelters and services. Opponents, including human rights advocates and social workers, view this policy as both cruel and ineffective. They argue that penalizing individuals for lacking housing fails to address underlying issues such as escalating rent prices, mental health disorders, and unemployment. Instead of providing viable solutions, the law forces vulnerable populations to relocate, complicating efforts by outreach programs to offer assistance. In contrast, other cities and countries have adopted more compassionate and effective approaches to homelessness. Portugal, rather than criminalizing homelessness, Portugal has designated specific areas where sleeping is permitted and emphasizes social services over punitive measures. The government offers free healthcare, addiction recovery programs, and housing assistance, leading to a significant reduction in long-term homelessness. Salt Lake City, Utah, embracing a housing-first strategy. Salt Lake City focuses on providing affordable housing coupled with supportive services like job training and mental health care. This approach led to a 91% decrease in chronic homelessness between 2005 and 2015. Studies indicate that offering housing is more cost-effective than expenses associated with policing and incarcerating homeless individuals. As homelessness continues to rise across the United States, cities face a critical decision: invest in long-term, compassionate solutions or persist with outdated, punitive policies. The experiences of Portugal and Salt Lake City suggest that addressing the root causes of homelessness through supportive services and housing initiatives is more effective than criminalization. What are your thoughts? Should Las Vegas prioritize long-term housing solutions similar to Salt Lake City's approach? Or are strict laws necessary to maintain cleanliness and safety in the city? Share your opinions below. Number 6. Nonprofits. Hope in the darkness. Homelessness remains a critical issue in the United States, particularly in cities like Las Vegas. Nonprofit organizations serve as a lifeline for countless individuals striving for survival. Despite limited resources, these organizations offer food, shelter, medical care, and job training, paving the way towards stability. Several nonprofits in Las Vegas are leading this humanitarian effort, working tirelessly to support those in need. Shine a Light. This organization focuses on assisting one of the most hidden and vulnerable populations, people residing in the underground tunnels of Las Vegas. With an estimated 1,500 individuals seeking shelter in these tunnels, Shine a Light provides them with food, medical services, and addiction recovery programs, aiming to reintegrate them into society. Help Hope Home, a collaborative effort among local agencies. Help Hope Home connects unhoused individuals with employment opportunities and permanent housing. By 2024, they had successfully assisted over 8,000 people in transitioning into stable housing, demonstrating that long-term solutions are achievable when the right resources are available. The Courtyard Homeless Resource Center, more than just a shelter, this center operates around the clock, providing individuals with temporary housing, showers, meals, and job training programs. With over 300 people utilizing the facility daily, the center serves as a crucial safety net for those seeking to rebuild their lives. The challenges nonprofits face. Despite their transformative work, nonprofit organizations grapple with increasing demand for assistance. Funding cuts. Government budgets for social services have been shrinking. In 2023 alone, federal funding for homeless assistance programs saw a 10% reduction, leaving nonprofits scrambling to fill the gap with donations and grants. Rising homelessness. As of January 2024, Southern Nevada had over 7,900 homeless individuals, a 36% increase since 2022. The combination of soaring rent prices, job losses, and mental health challenges has overwhelmed nonprofits, making it increasingly difficult to provide adequate support. In the face of these challenges, nonprofit organizations in Las Vegas continue to be a beacon of hope, striving to uplift those in need and guide them toward a brighter future. Number 7. Homelessness, a crisis born from policy failures. Homelessness in the United States has escalated to unprecedented levels. In 2024, over 771,000 individuals experienced homelessness, a staggering 18% increase from the previous year. This surge results from systemic policy failures and political choices that have neglected our most vulnerable populations. Central to this crisis is a severe shortage of affordable housing. Between 2021 and 2022, the nation saw a deficit increase of 200,000 affordable rental homes, culminating in a 4,500,000 shortfall nationwide. This scarcity forces many into homelessness, as wages fail to keep pace with rising living costs. Additionally, insufficient funding for mental health services leaves countless individuals without the support they need, exacerbating their struggles and increasing the risk of homelessness. To address this crisis effectively, a multifaceted approach is essential. Invest in permanent supportive housing. Temporary shelters offer immediate relief, but don't solve the underlying issue. Studies have shown that Housing First initiatives, which prioritize providing permanent housing without preconditions, lead to a 60% decrease in emergency shelter use, and reduce reliance on public medical and mental health services. Enhance funding for health services. Mental health and substance abuse are significant factors contributing to homelessness. By increasing budgets for healthcare and mental health services, we can address these root causes, offering individuals the support necessary to maintain stable housing. End punitive measures against the homeless. Criminalizing homelessness through policies that penalize sleeping in public spaces or panhandling only perpetuates the cycle of poverty. Redirecting funds from punitive measures to supportive services can create pathways out of homelessness. Real, lasting change requires collective action. Educate and advocate. Engage with your community about the realities of homelessness. Support policies and programs that emphasize compassionate, evidence-based solutions. Support local initiatives. Volunteer with or donate to organizations dedicated to housing and supporting the homeless. Grassroots efforts often lead the way in innovative solutions. Vote with compassion. Elect leaders committed to addressing homelessness through humane and effective policies. By understanding the systemic issues at play and actively participating in solutions, we can transform our communities and offer hope to those in need. Las Vegas may be a city of spectacle and excitement, but beyond the neon lights lies a crisis that demands attention. The rise in homelessness, the lack of affordable housing, and the struggles of mental health services highlight the urgent need for real solutions. While some cities have taken meaningful steps to address these issues, Las Vegas continues to grapple with its approach. As travelers, it's important to see the full picture, not just the luxury, but also the reality behind it. What do you think Las Vegas should do to tackle this crisis? Let us know in the comments. If you found this documentary insightful, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to NVL Travel Documentary for more eye-opening explorations of the world's untold stories. See you in the next adventure.